say, oh, well, now we can, we have pretty much a free hand to do whatever we want. So what's the message there? Well, the urgency attached to Iran is entirely a function of what the president and Cheney can do before they leave office. They seem to have undertaken a promise, the Israelis, to do this. Now, why they would do this, that's another question. But the only thing I'd add here is that the National Security Advisor to the first President Bush, General Brent Scowcroft, saw fit, while he was working for the second President Bush as chair of the President's Foreign Intelligence Advisory Board, a very prestigious board, right in the thick of all the information and the intelligence flow. He saw fit to go to the Financial Times and say, Ariel Sharon, who was the Israeli Prime Minister at the time, has our President mesmerized, Scowcroft's word. He has our President wrapped around his little finger, again, Scowcroft's impression. Now, Scowcroft was canned the next week and told never to darken the White House doorstep again. But why would he say that? Why would this consummate politician, who never said a word to the press without thinking it through, why would he say that to the Financial Times? And why was it not picked up in any other media? Well, the reason he said it to the Financial Times is that he knew that they would print it, and the reason he wanted it printed is so that you and I could know that if there were an attack on Iran, it would be because Israeli Prime Minister, the swashbuckling Ariel Sharon, and now we have a successor, has the president, as he put it, mesmerized and wrapped around his little finger. This is very, very dangerous because Scowcroft knows which end is up. He completely lost any entree he had to the inner sanctum of the White House after about 40 years of working inside the White House for a variety of presidents. And he said it anyway because he wanted us to know. And so beware, if there's an attack on Iran, this will be the United States violating what George Washington warned us about in his farewell address, namely entangling alliances, namely a passionate attachment by one country, namely the United States, to the perceived strategic interests of another, namely Israel. It's a very, very unhealthy situation, but that's the one that exists, and there's no threat to the United States to stop from Iran. There's a perceived threat to Israel, and there seems to be a commitment made by the President and Cheney to take care of this threat from Iran before they leave office. And I predict, I say that the odds are greater than even that within the next 2 months we will have an air attack without any warning. We will have a missile attack on Iran and a major war in that part of the Middle East, the consequences of which would be much worse than Iraq. For example, what could the Iranians do? Well, one thing they could easily do is cut off our supply line between Kuwait and Baghdad. Now, what would that mean? That would mean taking hostage, not 52 diplomats in an embassy this time. This would mean taking hostage 52,000 U.S. servicemen north of where they cut off the line. They have the people to do that, they have the weaponry to do that, and those supply lines are incredibly vulnerable. So what does the United States do then? What does it do? Well, we have these amateur strategists who say, well, we have these mini nukes. Yeah, mini nukes, I mean, that's just a little bit more powerful than a high explosive weapon. What is the mini nukes? It is crazy. These people are what we used to call, when I was around the government, quote, the crazies, end quote. People need to know that, and they need to go to their representatives and senators and say, look, there's a lot of talk about attacking Iran. Why? Why? What kind of danger does Iran pose the United States of America?
Mr. McGovern, we're going to go to a break. It was a real pleasure to have you on with us today. We appreciate it very much, and we hope to have you on as a guest again. And I want to thank you again for joining us here on The Real News today.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Carport, storage buildings, garages.
Okay, ready?
Hello, we're back on The Real News. We're running a little short on time. I want to report that the Constitution Party has declared a candidate. Pastor Baldwin is the presidential candidate for the Constitution Party. We will hopefully be having him on later, and we will be commenting on that. Unfortunately, it looks like we won't be able to take any phone calls this week. So I want to go to our email. We had one email from Roxanne, and she says, how to spend your IRS refund check. As you may have heard, the administration said each of us would receive a rebate check to stimulate the economy. If we spend that money at Walmart, all the money will go to China. If we spend it on gasoline, it will go to the Arabs. If we purchase a computer, it will go to India. If we purchase fruit and vegetables, it will go to Mexico, Honduras, and Guatemala. If we purchase a car, it will go to Japan. If we buy clothing, it will go to Bangladesh. If we purchase useless junk, it will go to Taiwan. None of the money will help the American economy. We need to keep that money here in America, so the only way to keep that money here at home is to spend it at yard sales, since those are the only businesses still in the United States. I thought that was a very interesting email. We had 8 emails in all, mainly complimenting and thanking us for doing the radio program and enjoying it. Last week, we had an email from Todd, and it said, you used the term depleted uranium. I was amazed very few people are aware of this very dangerous situation to our troops and the world. Would you please do a story on this to inform the public? God bless you and the radio station for this show. I really enjoy it. Thank you, sir, and yes, we do plan to do that, and we will make an effort to do that in the upcoming future. Each week we have a poll, and this week on the poll was the government's murder and atrocity at Waco, the Patriot Act and anyone who supported it, the people who are sheep, those who seek to ban our ammunition, youth promoting and condoning homosexuality, and anyone who disagrees with Judge McConnell's book. And the winner is the Patriot Act and anyone who supported it. 17 votes. We got 54 total. And before we close, I want to say that to do a radio program like this, it requires time and dedication and support. And the Lord has blessed us in so many ways. I'm dedicated to bringing the listeners news and interviews that you may well not hear anywhere else. If it wasn't for our broadcast, with that in mind, I want to thank the people that have helped me make this possible. That's WSIC, Mark, Billy, Brian, who's been lining up a lot of the guests, Ty, our cameraman, Jim, our backup cameraman, Devin, Dave, Keith, Kelly, my mom and dad, and Al for having the backbone and conviction to help us in sponsoring the truth, and everyone that puts up with listening to me criticize the government with every breath I take 24/7. And most of all, you, the listener, for listening and getting involved. I firmly believe that together we may well can affect change to better our children's future. And until next week, this is Farron saying, God help us all.